Hi guys, Crafty Kim here, and I have two DIYs today that are boho style decor. I've been wanting to try this style for a long time now, and I really like these two projects that I decided to do, and I really hope you guys enjoy them as well. For the first project, I'm using some twine that I got from Dollar Tree, and I ordered this bag of beads from Amazon for $15.99, but there's 700 beads, so quite a few beads, and then some yarn that I already had on hand. So to start, I cut a piece of twine that's 12 inches long, folded it in half, and taped it on the top and bottom to my counter. And what you want to do is wrap this around something that's about 6 inches. I ended up using this game I got from Dollar Tree, and then just cut at both ends, and these are the pieces you'll use to make your feather. And starting the feather, I just put one piece folded in half under the twine, and then going in through the opposite side, you go in under the loop and then pull the strings through. It's a lot easier to watch than it is to explain, so hopefully you guys will understand what I'm doing by watching. Here's a picture to help show you what I mean. So now I'm doing the same thing with my gray yarn to create the pieces I need for that, just wrapping it around and then cutting it with my scissors. And repeating the same process with the gray yarn, and you'll notice that I go opposite each time I do a set. So I put the loop in from the left, and then the next one I put the loop in from the right. So here I'm tying a knot at the bottom of that 12-inch piece that we put all our smaller pieces onto, and I tie 3 knots, and then I push down the pieces at the top, and where that loop is, I tie a knot there as well so that your pieces on your feather don't move. Then I just trimmed those pieces off the bottom, and now for the tedious part, I chose to unravel all of my yarn pieces and twine because I felt that this does make it a lot easier when it comes time to brush these out to make it look like a feather. So it's a little tedious, but it's worth it. And you can use a regular comb for this, but I just decided to use my cat brush because I never use it for my cat, and it worked out really well. You do end up with a lot of loose pieces you see here from the yarn and the twine, but it works really well and it's really fluffy like a real feather. And now I'm just shaping the feather the way I want by cutting kind of around to the top, and then I'll keep, brushing and then trimming again and then brushing until I get the desired shape that I want. I saw someone use a floral stem to do this before with beads, and I can't remember who it was. If you remember, let me know in the comments below. But it really does work well to paint beads and allow them to dry. I ended up doing 2 coats, and I did use the color Steel by Waverly to do these larger beads. I used large beads and small beads for this project. So with the smaller beads, I'm starting by adding one, and I thought I recorded this and I apologize, but all I did was take a piece of jute and go through the loop of the feather, and then I put the bead through both pieces of jute so that it was attached snug to the feather, and then I tied a couple knots. I did have a piece of tape at the end of this, and I will end up adding a piece of tape later on because it does work better. And now I'm going to take one of the larger beads and push it down all the way, and that knot piece that's hanging out, I'll also snake inside the bead and then just cut off the excess so you can't see it. I really hope that makes sense, guys. I apologize for not recording that a little bit better so that you could see a little bit better. And now I'm going to add 2 more beads. So the design is 1 little bead, 1 big bead, 2 little beads, 1 big bead, back to 1 little bead. And once you get your last bead on, you're going to put that through the hoop, the end of your jute string through the hoop of the other feather for the other end, and then pull it as tight as you can. And then I just wrapped it around and tied a couple knots, and then I cut the excess piece of jute off. And I didn't have my hot glue gun out at the time, so I used E6000 to hold down the edges of the jute twine, but I do recommend just using a hot glue gun if you can. And here it is all finished, and I really like the gray tone with the color of the jute twine. I think it looks really nice with the gray and natural color of the beads. I really enjoyed making this. This was my first time ever making a beaded garland like this. So I thought it came out pretty good, and I hope you guys like it as well. For the next project, you need the yarn colors of your choice and a stick from outside. You do cut this into 3 pieces, so make sure it's fairly long. And then your choice of flowers. I chose roses from Dollar Tree, and then lavender and lamb's ear from Walmart. So I measured my stick, and it was about 32.5 inches, almost 33. So I cut 3 about 11-inch pieces. Using my saw here, I cut the 3 pieces down. And now it's time to tie the pieces together. I'm using that multicolored yarn to tie this together because the consistency of the yarn is a little bit stronger. The other one is a little bit softer. So I just tied a knot, and now I'm just going to continuously wrap it around to get it nice and snug. And once you have it wrapped the way you'd like, just take a little bit of hot glue and glue down the end of the yarn. And then just repeat the same steps for the other 2 corners of your 3rd piece. And I chose to have that bottom piece behind the other 2 pieces, and I'm cutting yarn pieces about 48 inches long, and then we're going to fold those in half, and we're going to apply them to our bottom piece. So to apply the yarn to the stick, you just fold it in half like I said. I'm putting the loop on top of the stick and then pulling the 2 ends through the loop so that you see the little knot on top. And there was a knot sticking out a little too much for my liking, so I just took my utility knife and shaved it down. So I am definitely getting one of these rotary cutters after this is said and done, because I wanted this to have an angle to it. So I used my ruler for guidance and my scissors, and it just took forever. And I finally got it to be in the shape that I was happy with, but a rotary cutter definitely would have come in handy for this step. So if you have one, kudos. And now it's time to apply our floral pieces. So I'm just adding a rose first, and you'll see here I did leave the green part on, and I had to add a little bit of hot glue to the actual flower to attach that back to the green part. And then I just add some lavender and some lamb's ear. You can do whatever you want with this. It's the fun part. And for the hanger, I just took a piece of yarn and put it around the top and tied a knot, and that's it. I think the colors are so soft and just really pretty, and if I had a little girl, I would put it in their room. I have 2 boys, so it'll be going in my room, but I just think it's really pretty, and I really love how it turned out. Very natural looking and soft. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I hope you guys have a great day.